Everyone in the real English pub. There's a gorgeous pub here and a random pub in England. I will let everyone know what was the pub towards the end of the broadcast, but for now, we're going to enjoy a good classic pub meal here in England at a random pub. Look at that beautiful meat pie. We have gravy right over here, and we have a nice creamy pile of mash underneath. This is one of the better rated pubs that I visited in this area, and I'm excited to try it out. I'm trying a local brew called Brixton. So I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from here at Authentic Pub in England. So right now we are on the dining area, so beautiful, beautiful dining area. Look at that. Lots of people here. Starting to get filled up because people are coming out of work, and Friday is a very hectic day for work, for pubs, because everyone starts getting out on a Friday night. And I'm so excited to try this pie over here. I'm really, really hyped. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know where you're tuning in from, and let me show you a real authentic pie here. But first, let's try the beer before I bite into this pie. And I think you should be able to hear me okay. All right, cheers. So this is Brixton. Brixton is from down in the lower southern part of London. Very famous neighborhood. Really good lager. It has very crisp taste. Definitely a nice departure from the more big name breweries, which I don't know. They don't kind of tickle my senses as a good craft brew, in my opinion. There's some classic big brands, like in Ireland, there's Guinness. Of course, in Germany, I can't wait to go. But I remember in Czech Republic, I tried some big, iconic, historic brands of beer that were really awesome. But here, I found that the craft ones, they really stick out. So this is a really good one. I like this one. Oh. It's cool, it's crisp. Lager has kind of a bitter aftertaste, which I like. Easy to drink, and it's served so cool. Oh wow. Now for the meat pie, ladies and gentlemen. I've been so excited to show you authentic meat pie. I've had already a plenty of them, but I couldn't find a place that has good cell phone reception, but luckily here we found another English miracle. I was unable to connect to their Wi-Fi, but I found cell phone reception for at least 480p. So it's nice, I can show you actual real meat pie, and this is one of the better rated places, so I'm so excited. Let's go. Hi. Hi. All right. Look at that gravy. Ooh, the gravy is pretty watery. That's interesting. Not the super thick gravy I've had thus far in the pie and mash places. This is a very watery gravy, but different, I think, because there's a lot of onions here, so it's more like a French onion soup type of gravy. The mash looks really good, and the meat pie looks really good. Let's bite into it. Let's see how it is. It's an onion gravy. Thank you so much, Kay. Onion gravy. First time I encounter an onion gravy. Ooh. Nice thick crust. Oh, look at that. Look how thick the sauce is. Love the shortbread crust. Very, very, very thick crust. This is what I really wanted after the great pie fiasco. This might have some redemption here in actual England. Look how stuffed it is with meat. Absolutely destroyed it in the beginning. No point in being refined here at English pub. You just dig in. Oh, that looks really good. Simon says it's a Sweeney Todd special. Well, I'll tell you this, Simon. We're now on Fleet Street, luckily. And if you know exactly where I am, please keep it to yourself. We're just enjoying a random pub, not focusing too much on. All right, let's try this out. We were gonna maybe in an hour. It's really hot. I had to set up my camera and put on the microphone and see if I can connect to Wi-Fi. And I was waiting here about like 6-7 minutes, and the pie is still super warm. Wow. Oh. Ooh. Very strong onion smell to it. But you smell a little bit of beer. This is made with cask ale. Ooh, steak and ale pie. Cue the music. Bum, 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 bum. Cue that music. Cue the royal calling. The trumpets. Oh my God. This is. Ooh, the crust is amazing. Not soggy at all. It's able to hold all that broth, all that sauce together. The mash, super creamy. Tastes pretty fresh. The steak is super tender. Super tender steak. Wow. This will bring justice to the great pie fiasco of 2021. If you don't remember, back in 2021, there's a episode that is no longer up where I tried a meat pie in apparently one of the best rated British places in New York, and it was absolutely horrid. The pie was liquid, and they told me that their other type of pie, which was a kind of a ground lamb pie, came with a crust, and it actually was just mashed potatoes, so not a crust. So it was a terrible misunderstanding / experience, and this really makes up for it. I've been wanting a classic English meat pie in a random pub in England with the flags right behind me. Oh. Just that combination of crust, not sweetened like American pie crust, because America's more about the sweet pies, and the pie itself is more sweetened. Sweetened, not sweetened. What I like about it, these pie crusts have multiple layers, so they're able to hold in all that liquid, so it doesn't get too soggy very quickly, which is the mark of a very bad meat pie, is when it gets too soggy way too quickly. So look, still retaining its structure. Cue the jazz music. It's more New York than it is Britain with the jazz, but wow. Wow. Let me show you more. Enjoy that pie, looks really good, says Terry. Will do. Hello, Susie. Hello, Ron. Hey, DS, I'm happy with you. I don't think we will ever forget that meat pie fiasco, says Kay. Yeah, one of the greatest disasters that have befallen New York. Ariel's about to have a Meg Ryan moment. But here in England, people are much more reserved, so I won't. That's more for New York. New York is where I, do theatrics. Here, this pie, it's rather nice. It's all right, that was, as someone recommended me to say. It's all right, that was. Wow, look at that. I even have my own little light here. I love the decoration here. British pubs are something else, really. I wish we had this tradition. What kind of meat are they using, says DS. This is steak. Steak. Marinated in ale, cask ale, which is a more home brewed ale. Strikes me as fresh. It is very creamy, so I can't tell 100%. It strikes me as real potatoes, but they mix it with cream or butter, or butter, probably both. And the actual gravy is actually really good. It tastes more like a French onion soup. It's not that super thick gravy that we find in pie and mash places. Donna says, "Are you safe with the storm?" I am. So, I'm gonna keep eating this pie. About England, about pubs, about beer, about British food. Feel free to ask me anything about those things. Chat with me as we eat. I'm going to order one thing for dessert, which is going to be very British dessert, which I had the pleasure of experiencing yesterday with a new friend I met in London. Showed me some of the best places in London to go to for food and drink. I did not film because I was just enjoying my time with that friend. Luckily, I found in this particular menu they have the same thing. So stay tuned for the dessert. But let's keep digging into this pie before it gets too cool. Oh, wow. Dia says, "Are you reading any famous British books?" No, I'm not. I'm reading. Take another bite. I have 2 books on me. I bought like crazy amount of books. I went crazy. I went to an amazing bookstore called Watkins Books, which is one of the most famous occult bookstores in the world. If you don't know what the occult means, it means basically people who are into myths and legends and lore and spirituality and otherworldly creatures, the paranormal, tarot. It's kind of an all catch-all term for that. That bookstore has a whole lot of history. I'm going to post a TikTok of it soon. But I got 2 books from that place. I'll show it to you. Haunted London Underground and Walking Haunted London. Guy says, "Is this English or American food?" This is strictly English food. America, we do not have a tradition of savory pies at all. On occasion, you might find them, but it is extremely rare, if at all. You won't find them. It's very rare. Pies. Carol says, "Spotted duck." I might try spotted duck at some point. Did the bookstore employee look like Hugh Grant? No. Well, this is a cult bookstore. It wasn't quite as the same as the one in Notting Hill. Uh-oh, my necklace is caught in the mic. Okay, cool. Just watched the museum tour, says Ludo. Oh, I'm so glad you did. So meat pies have a long tradition in British history, but one of the practical uses of a meat pie is that they keep. And that means you can make a meat pie and it'll last for maybe even more, depends on the pie. And you're able to have good food, good hearty food, and the pie is that kind of the actual covering. It's like the medieval Tupperware that you can eat. Guy says, "Do you prefer English or American food?" Great question. It's hard to choose. I have a soft spot for a British cuisine because ever since I was little, I've always been a fan of pie, sweet and savory, ever since I was little. My favorite dessert is pie. If it's my birthday, and don't buy me any other cake. Definitely don't buy me the cake with the jelly in the middle. I don't want that. Buy me a pie. And then beyond that, I just love very hearty foods. I love like meaty foods with thick broth, thick sauces. So to me, British food is more comforting. But there's so much amazing things with American food. I mean, American food is not one monolith either. Like British food is not one monolith. We're gonna maybe soon experience some Welsh food. Maybe we'll experience some Cornish food or some Scottish food. Stay tuned. Kay says, how about Irish food? Irish food has lots of similarities to English food. Though what I like about Irish food is that you can find a good Irish stew almost everywhere. Here, not in England so far. You can't find a good stew. You can find meat pies. You can find maybe some steak or fish and chips, but you can't find too many stews. That's what I like about Ireland. That's why you know where the best pies are in New York, says Susan. Oh yeah. Angela says fish and chips. I have one video already up on fish and chips. I do enjoy it, but fish and chips does not bring me as the deep feeling of coziness and warmth as a good meat pie does. Fish and chips is amazing, but I feel more like I'm at the beach than cozied up in home with a fire going. Terry says, how about the mushy peas? I like mushy peas. I did not order it for this meal because I want to save space for dessert. And then I'm having dinner with a friend, so this is technically my lunch. Anne asks, is that London Pride you're drinking? No, this is Brixton. Brixton. The same name as David Bowie's childhood home. Which is now a major Caribbean neighborhood. For many decades, it's been the Caribbean neighborhood. Just rode the train with someone carrying a Dominic Ansel box, says Susu. Yeah, and Dominic Ansel is actually here in London as well. That's awesome. You need a good stew at Kay's Kitchen again. Oh yeah. Kay, that's right. Also, I grew up a lot with mashed potatoes. My own mom is a massive, gigantic fan of mashed potatoes. So shout out, because I know you're watching. She loves mashed potatoes. And I grew up eating mashed potatoes all my entire life. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of mashed potatoes. In the US, it's become increasingly rare, unless if you go to fried chicken places or maybe more New England food, but it's more and more rare. Here, luckily, it's very commonplace to find a good mash. Do the British do coffee differently than anywhere else? Says yes. Great question. I will be doing a coffee video. If not live, I'll do a short one. So, kind of, not significantly different from the US. It's kind of the midpoint between European coffee and American coffee. Coffee shops are more like American coffee shops. It's a place, it's casual, you come, you go, you sit down if you want to, work, chat, whatever you want to do. In coffee shops in Britain, people tend to chat more. So there isn't as many people huddled up on their laptops like there's in New York. or other major American cities. The other difference is, unlike the rest of Europe, it isn't fully focused on espresso, like Italy, France, Greece. It's more like New York, America, where you have espresso and you have filter coffee. Filter coffee isn't as big as it is in America, so not everywhere has it, and then some places have it, but it's not what most people are ordering. The cool thing about British coffee is that you can find good coffee almost anywhere. It's more and more ubiquitous than it is in the US. US, maybe in New York, coffee is ubiquitous, but you can have very bad coffee even in New York. You can have very bad coffee in Boston or in Chicago or in Florida. And you can have very good coffee, especially if you're in New York or in Boston. But here, similar to Ireland, you pretty much find good coffee almost everywhere. Not excellent. It's not like Italy, where, oh my God, coffee is really exceptional almost everywhere. But coffee's pretty good. So coffee culture is more both filter and espresso. Not as punchy and dark as heavy as Italian. More similar to American, was brighter, lighter, and more floral notes and things like that with the coffee. Audrey says, I keep seeing fist pumping up. Yeah, someone's chatting with her. This coffee's in my kitchen, says Joe. Cool, Joe. That's awesome. Speaking. Did you experience a storm? Earlier, yes. The winds were extremely high. I just had a delicious barbecue meatloaf sandwich. That's awesome, George. An English breakfast is what you need to drink in the UK with cucumber sandwiches, says Blake. I do want to show high tea, so stay tuned. Or afternoon tea. This is a great companion to my dinner. That's great to hear. If I missed a question, feel free to ask again. There's a strong Indian influence in London. DS. Yes, I have already a video up on TikTok/Facebook about Indian style English breakfast. Check it out. It's from a place called Dishoom, which is one of the best Indian restaurants I've had the pleasure of trying here in London. London does Indian cuisine, in my opinion, better than New York. I'm not 100% sure why, but maybe it's because the food professionals of India tend to come more to London than they do New York. Indian food here is truly exceptional. They have great fresh ingredients, and the recipes are really unique. And also, they've mixed with British culture, so they brought in British things into Indian cuisine. So maybe I'll show you more Indian food. Same thing with Caribbean food, so Jamaican and other Caribbean islands, similar thing. Jerk chicken has made its way into meat pies and to pasties as well, pasties. What's for pudding? A dessert, but dessert has to be very English. Well, not English in the sense that it's a typical English dessert, but that the contents that one will order are very British. Neil asked, am I having a nice holiday? I am. Queen says, I love a good samosa. That's great to hear. Love the green screen, Ariel, says Ron. Yeah, great green screen over here. Oh my God, I'm about to finish this meat pie. I don't know how I'm gonna have dinner with a friend. Oh my god. Last few bites. Truly exceptional pie. Truly exceptional. Ooh. Beautiful. I cleaned the plate. Can I have the dessert menu, please? Yeah, thank you so much. Wendy says, asking where I am. I'm in a random pub in England. And actually, the... So here's the menu. And I ordered... right here, the Hereford steak and Old Peculiar Real Ale pie. $17.5. So about $25. A little bit less. $23. They have toffee pudding, apple and pear crumble, chocolate brownie, selection of ice creams with biscuit crumbs, so no spotted dick, as people are saying, but we're gonna go for this. British Isle cheese plate. Try some classic British cheese. Okay. I gotta wait until she comes back. Kay says, more cheese? Yeah, more cheese. It's hot in here. Warm. Layer up in London, because sometimes certain restaurants and pubs can be warm. Cashel Blue is Irish? What? Our man? Susie says crumble for me. Kay says more cheese, yeah. More cheese, because I want to show some classic British cheese. A lot of people don't know, but Britain has as much variety of cheese as France or like Italy. Like the variety is huge. I'll have a cheese plate, please, and also a glass of water. Thank you so much. Lay says, you look so happy. It's nice to see you. I'm so glad. I'm glad you're enjoying the good vibes from classic classic English pubs. Camilla says, kinky London. What's so kinky about London? It's not that much kinkiness in London. Barry says, enjoy the food. Thank you so much, Barry. Cashel Blue is made in Tipperary, Ireland. Oh, okay. They said English. So, do the English also make Cashel Blue? Do let me know. Susie says, more crumble for me. Panajota says, spotted dick? What? Yeah, it's called spotted dick. Do let me know what spotted dick is. I have not researched into it. Joe says, Ariel's secretly in the Staten Island pub. Joe, you found out my secret. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, I've been in Staten Island this entire time. No wonder the service was bad. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ooh, fancy bottle. Angela says it's cake with raisins. Spotted dick. Okay, makes sense. It's the shape of a with spots. Cool. Makes a lot of sense. Joe says, spotted dick, it's better to go to the doctor than order at a restaurant. Barry says, I love a good meat pie. I'm glad you do. Their meat pies are made with hot water or more like pie crust? I don't know the difference. This tasted more like a shortbread crust. So there was a lot of layers and it was thick. And Lay says it's traditional. Yeah, I can't wait. When I bump this spotted dick, I will make a video of it when I see it. Some places are so good at serving the beer that the foam stays the entire time you're drinking it. Similar to Ireland, good bartenders. Cantia, 830 stars. Cantia is so kind enough to sponsor part of this meal. Thank you so much, Cantia. Thank you so much. You sponsored the beer. Thank you so much. Wendy says, I was there 20 years ago. I can't wait to have high tea again. Yeah. It is very good to have high tea. I agree. Hey, Panajotis says, can you say sorry for the timeouts? No worries. And everyone, yeah, it's okay with the emojis. Emojis are okay, just don't spam. Barry says, I love good meat pie. That's great to hear. Are you having a cheese board? I am, for dessert. It's a wild weather day. Keep smiling and eating your way through England. Yeah. Basically, I think that's one of the pleasures of visiting England is the food. It sounds weird. A lot of people wouldn't agree with me, but the food is something else. Linnea says, guessing our dinner plans are canceled. No, it's not, Linnea. This was lunch. I did not eat too much. Valerie says, are you going to Scotland in this visit to the UK? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Where are the best pies in New York or London? Picasso, here in London, I actually filmed what will be a vlog of a place called Goddard's, classic pie and mash place in Greenwich. Really, really great pie and mash. So far, that's the best meat pie I've had thus far in England. This one was really good, but that one, exceptional. In New York, not that much pie and mash, but there is a whole lot of places to go for sweet pies. But for meat pies, the best place, the only place, is Mayors of Keswick in what's called Little Britain near Chelsea. So there's not that many places. And heading to the Highlands in a week, says Valerie. Oh, cool. Enjoy the Highlands. And will you hit the nightclubs as DMC? I don't think so. I'm not a fan of nightclubs. And Linnea says, is this really live? Linnea, yes, this is really live. This is a real pub in real England. And I'm drinking real ale. It's not green screen. Oh, Rosalind, nice to see you here. Rosalind. Valerie says, back to my home country of Scotland. That's great that you're going back to your home country. Man vs. Show really shows great food in the U.S., says DMC. He does it here in till March. Stay tuned. Keep tuning in. You'll see random places. in this beautiful island. Are you going to try jelly eels? I already did, with pie mesh and liquor. Yeah, I already tried the liquor gravy. It was really good. I will be posting a video of it soon. I think I'm going to join in with the pint, says Marshall. Oh, glad you're grabbing yourself a pint as well. Mulak says, you look so red. Indeed I am. Alcohol. Amir says, from Jordan. Nice to see you there, Amir. Assalamu alaikum. Are you taking the Eurostar to France? You know, I'm very tempted to go to Paris. Very tempted. I'm loving England, but Paris is a place where I can definitely live stream easier in the streets. There's very good cell phone reception in Paris. So yeah, I would love to go to Paris. And doing this trip made me realize, oh yeah, Paris is going to be a good next stop for live streaming regular basis out in the streets, which is hard to do here in England. The lighting at the restaurant is making you look very nice. Yeah, the lighting is making me more red than usual, but yeah, I usually turn rosy chic when I drink. I get the Irish flush or the Asian flush, depends on what country you're in. Panajota says Paris will be amazing. Robert says might as well go to Paris. Trust me, I want to, but on my end, I've planned a lot of things, so I can't change those plans without losing a lot of money. Today, I was about to go to the Cotswolds today on a day trip, but unfortunately, the wind was way too heavy, and I didn't want to take the risk of going to the Cotswolds, which is this beautiful area, beautiful small little quaint towns. Wales, or on the border of Wales, close to Wales, and I didn't want to go. So I lost the tour because I couldn't get a refund. I don't even know if they end up canceling it. They probably end up canceling it because no one went. So that's the risk when you travel. Unless if you're traveling super budget and very kind of flexible, if you're into going to like hostels or last minute Airbnb, which you can do, easy to change plans on the whim. But for me, I usually don't like changing plans on the whim. How's the wind now? Says Just Kate. It was pretty low when I got out of the museum. Okay. Yeah, I broke 2 of mine from the U.S. Yeah, you know, there is actually a bespoke umbrella maker here in London that has been running the business for about 150 years. This is very common in London. There's suit makers that have been around for 150 years, shoemakers, shirt makers, basically everything. There is someone who's done it. Rain jackets as well. Macintosh up in Scotland. So I'm very tempted to get a bespoke or handmade umbrella. Very tempted. I heard they're the best umbrellas you can buy. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing a video about buying an authentic handmade umbrella. Do you have any plans to go in Nottingham? Maybe, stay tuned. It's that new ring. No, same ring I've been having for the past few months. Yes, it's extremely windy. Cotswolds is the heart of England. Thank you so much, Ring. Heart of England. You might need to stay where you are if the storm gets really bad, says Susie. Indeed, maybe. People think Ariel's independently wealthy and free to travel everywhere. I don't quite have that gigantic of a budget. How do you plan to live stream from St. Pancras Station? Maybe. Stay tuned, George. It is definitely one of the more beautiful stations here in London. But I do have 2 Paddington videos coming up. Stay tuned. They do. Rob, yeah. What's the umbrella company called? I don't know yet. I gotta look into it. I know it exists. I know it's still around. I don't know the name. Faith says Ariel's rich in spirit. Indeed he is. All right, I'm so excited for this cheese. Hopefully it comes. Annette says no, he makes bank on YouTube. Indeed I do, yes. Bank. Tons of money. Logan Paul money. Have you streamed from the street markets yet? Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wow. This is quite a lot of cheese. Let me show it to you. Rob says, what pub are you in? We're in a random pub in England to enjoy this beautiful experience. If you know where I am, keep it to yourself. And if we end up having a good experience, I'll let you know what was the name afterwards in the comments. Let's see this beautiful plate right over here. Wow, looks great. I love Rando Pub. Yeah. The Random. Sounds like a name. Lord Random. Right here, look at that. Wow. So we have crackers. Ooh, we got an assortment of cracker sizes. I like that. We got assortment of crackers. Oh, that's so interesting. Never seen a variety of crackers. Some grapes. Oh, I like that. If someone could feed me some grapes, I'll be so grateful. Some plum jam. I love plums. Very good for staying regular. Some blue cheese. And we got two other cheeses. We got a softer cheese and this harder kind of cheddar cheese. Let's try it out. So the softer cheese, I forgot. Do let me know the name. I showed the menu earlier. Cheddar and Cashel Blue. Gwen says it was Stilton? No, it was Brie. Brie. Yeah, it's not Stilton. I am so excited to try Stilton. Haven't had the chance yet. Kay says you'll definitely have a nightmare with all that cheese. Excuse me. All right, let's try it out. Not sure where to start. Ooh. All right, here it is. The soft cheese first. Shell it has, or what's the name? Do let me know what's the name of this part of the cheese. Orion, thank you so much. Gwen. Wow. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Super creamy. You bite into it and it melts in your mouth. Wow. It has such a great texture to it. Super creamy texture. But hard to explain, but the creaminess slides onto your mouth. It slathers your tongue when you bite into it. Slathering your tongue like a good Irish butter on soda bread. It's a similar kind of type of texture upon your tongue. Ooh, wow, that is great. We're gonna try it with the jam. That same brie with the jam. That is an amazing cheese. Wish me luck, ladies and gentlemen, with all this cheese. Oh, there's so much jam in this country. Look at that. I could hear an orchestra of Handel playing in my mind as I take every single bite and savor every single flavor. The plum jam has a little bit of a spicy kick to it. I'm not sure why it has a spicy kick to it. Yeah, it does smell a little bit spicy. Let me know, Brits out there, why would this be a little bit spicy? There's a bit of kick. Wow, that's very good. All right, let's try the cheddar. Now, cheddar has made its way to America, but cheddar, real cheddar, is from England. The real cheddar. Lei says it's a savory jam because it's a chutney. Thank you so much. It's a chutney. Savory jam. Thank you so much. Neil says, a taste on the lips, forever on the hips. You're making me want to stream British Murder Mysteries, says Diane. Yeah, it's a good time for a British murder mystery. Check out Broadchurch, it's one of my favorites. And I don't like too much true crime shows, but Broadchurch is amazing. Let's try this. Cheddar. It smells like stinky feet. Let's try it out. Here. I like it. It's a bit more milder than the other one. It doesn't have a good it doesn't have the same kind of texture as the other one. Of course, the other one is a soft cheese. Is a bit more. You bite into it, kind of slices. I don't know how to describe it, but you bite into it, kind of. It doesn't crumble, but slices. Similar to some Italian cheeses, like a pecorino, has that kind of texture to it. Unlike a pecorino. So I'm gonna see if I can slather this on the. It's impossible to slather, so I can't slather it. Can't slather it on the cracker. But we're gonna put it with some jam and we're gonna have a grape with this. The chutney. This might taste really good with the chutney, actually. Let's try this out. It's homemade, says Picasso. It's definitely from the country. So it's homemade. It's not a big brand. It doesn't taste like a big brand. It tastes like real cheeses. I think that's a better term. Flakes away.
I've literally gone pescatarian.
I love the sound of the accents. This cookie, this cracker tastes more like a cookie. It almost tastes like a shortbread. And Audrey says I have nice hands. Oh, thank you so much, Audrey. This tastes like a shortbread. So interesting. They gave a variety of crackers. That's amazing. I never encounter a variety of crackers on the cheese plate. A sweet dessert liquor would go well with the cheese. I think it will, yeah. On its own, that's a great cracker. Wow. Audrey says it's a butter puff. Thank you so much. I don't know my crackers too well. I barely eat them. They're water biscuits, but they have different flavors to it, DMC. All right. This is a good cheddar. I like it. It tastes actually better with the chutney, in my opinion. Susie says earlier that brie and chutney is supposed to be the combination, but I think the cheddar and the chutney is a better combination. It's not as sharp as certain American cheddars. Let me have another big bite of this, the cheddar. warm it up. If you put this on the hot knife, the cheddar, it'll spread easier. This might make good for a good tuna melt. It's more American, of course, but actually, it spreads. Drink this with a good mulled wine. Oh my God. This might be a very good combination with hot mulled wine. Let's try the Cashel Blue. I love blue cheese. Let's try with one of the square crackers. Joe says, well, at least we're watching Ariel eat cheese rather than cutting the cheese. I'm not sure if that's an American expression. I think it is only American. I'm not sure if they use it here in Britain. But yeah, we're not cutting the cheese. Susie says, order a nice glass of port. Port wine. That sounds like a very good combination. All right. Good for cheese on toast, says Anne. Yeah. Excuse me, do you have any port wines, any dessert wines? Any dessert wines?
Yes, let me bring them in.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Which one do you recommend?
Taylor.
Taylor. Oh, cool. Actually, I want something a little bit more lighter. Is the sherry light? Yeah. It's more lighter? Yeah, I'll have the sherry, the biased sherry. Thank you so much. All right. So let's try this out. So let's try. I don't think she knew. She just picked a random one. There was a list of 4. There was a list of 4 items on there. The price differences were big, and there were 4 of them. And she ended up picking the one that the 3. And I don't think she knew. Like, I don't think it was a honest recommendation. Well, she's not trying to deceive or anything, but I don't think she knew about the wines to recommend it. So I did not go for the for the most expensive one. Wendy says she did not have a clue. I don't think so. She did it. She literally picked the most expensive one. Taylor's a well-known brand, says Valerie. Okay. Sorry, I'm not aware with the ports, so with the interaction, I thought to myself, oh, maybe that's not the best move. There was no malintent there, but in the U.S., that's a bit more common. Do watch out in the U.S. because if you ask for a recommendation on wine in the U.S. sometimes, and other countries are guilty of this. It happens more often in a few other countries, especially like in Italy. If you're going to touristy restaurants, do watch out. Thank you so much. So, so this is not a port. This is not a port. This is a cherry, but I think it's good. Great audio. Can you do Ready to Rumble? Yeah. All right. Let's try this out. Blue cheese and some sherry. Very funky. No. Very, very funky cheese. Has a little bit of an earthy taste to it. Definitely not as pungent as certain American blue cheeses can get, or French blue cheeses. It's a bit lighter of a blue cheese, so it won't like hit you with that kind of stinky feet taste to it. And I'm gonna try it with some chutney. That's really good. Wow. That chutney is amazing. It's great chutney. All right. Cheers. Oh yeah, that is good. Not quite the dessert wine as people mentioned, but cherry, very good. I gotta learn about these wines and dessert wines. Don't know too much about them. I stay away from wines and drinking pure liquor because that definitely gives me the Irish glow or the Asian flush. So cheers. Excellent meal, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any last remaining questions, feel free to ask. Thank you so much for tuning in to this random pub adventure. I will be posting the price and the place. It was really good, so I will recommend it. So watch in the comments. I'll be posting the details of this location. And then I'll be showing you other parts. Robin says, oh no, 480p live stream. Yep. I have to make do, Robin. Make do with what is here. A lot of people have shown me other live streamers here in England. A lot of them usually do live streams in 480p or 720, but the 720 is very pixelated, so it still degrades. And that's why we barely see high definition live streams here in England. One of these says stay longer. I gotta go. I gotta meet a friend for dinner. Valerie says, give me a hangover. I'm gonna drink copious amounts. Cherry, some cheese in the good English pub after some meat pies and beer. This is the life. And if you're here, go downstairs to the main bar area, sit by the bar or kind of linger around in the center and meet some locals. It's a great way to meet people. Here, the English might be more reserved, or in London they might be more reserved outside, but in a pub, they open up. Oh my, have a great dinner. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for all the contributions, all the stars, all the hearts, all the PayPals to show these beautiful views. Let me show you one more time the pub. Beautiful pub, highly recommend it. I will be posting the details of it and the price I paid at the end. And this was the cheese and the cherry and the Brixton and the beautiful little lamp I have. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. From England, off to other lands soon. Cheerio.